Hey, I'm Miss Hughes. I'm a high school English teacher from North Carolina, and today I'm going to be teaching you about rhetorical appeals, or rhetoric, or whatever your teacher is calling it. When we start talking about this, the number one thing that students ask is, when am I going to use this in real life? And the answer is, you actually already use this every day in real life. Whenever you need to persuade someone to be on your side, or whenever you need someone to believe the same way you do, or to trust you, you have to actually use rhetoric. We see rhetoric in commercials, we see it in movies, we see it in songs, we see it in advertising. It's something that you use in everyday life right now. There are actually 3 different types of rhetorical appeals. We're also going to talk about a bonus one at the end. So the 3 types of rhetorical appeals are ethos, pathos, and logos. They sound weird because they're actually Greek words. And they are the way that you convince an audience to think the same way that you do, or to believe what you believe, or to get them to trust you, or whatever. The first one that we're actually going to talk about is pathos, because pathos is the easiest out of the 3 to identify. So pathos is an appeal to your emotions. And the way I think of this is when you think of pathos, you need to think of a heart, because we think of the heart as being kind of the base of our emotions, even though we know that in real life that's not really where it comes from. When you appeal to an audience's pathos, you are hoping to get empathy or sympathy from them. It may not necessarily mean that you're trying to get them to feel bad for you, even though a lot of times that is how pathos is used. It could be you're trying to make them feel anything at all. If you're trying to scare your audience, if you're trying to get them to feel hope, if you're trying to make them cry, any emotion at all is mostly going to be associated with pathos. The best example I can give you for pathos is, I want you to imagine that you're in front of your TV and you're changing the channels, and all of a sudden a commercial comes up, and it's the ASPCA commercial, and you hear, "In the arms of the angel," right? And you're like, oh God, and you like want to mute the TV and run away. It hurts to watch it because it's just, oh, that's pathos, right? They have done a really great job of putting pathos in those commercials, because when you watch them, or listen to them even, you feel something. So they're using a really sad song. They use images of the animals where they look scared, or they're dirty, or they're starving, or they're just shaking. They put them in cages, and they do a really good job of making you want to send them money. That's pathos. So some questions you can ask are, do I feel differently after hearing this person's argument in terms of your emotions? Then they're probably using pathos. And did this person's speech affect my emotions? Then probably it's pathos. If I said something like, you will never be satisfied in life if you don't seize this opportunity. Do you want to live the rest of your years yearning to know what would have happened if you had just jumped when you had the chance? Well, they're trying to make you feel stupid, or like you're missing out if you don't seize this opportunity. That's pathos as well. If I started talking about tradition and Plymouth Rock and Thanksgiving, that's probably also going to be pathos, because I'm trying to appeal to that idea of family and tradition that goes along with Thanksgiving. And if I started talking about God and country and fighting for our nation, I'm trying to appeal to your patriotism. All of these are pathos, and you can see they appeal to a lot of different emotions. The second rhetorical appeal we're going to talk about is logos. And logos is really easy to remember because it appeals to your logic. So logos, logic, they sound the most similar. You can think of a brain whenever we talk about logos, because when you appeal to someone's logic, you're appealing to their brain, their idea to be able to connect ideas, common sense. When you cite facts and reasoning, when you cite statistics, all of that is logos. For example, when you're watching TV and you see things like a Progressive commercial or an ad where they start listing off a bunch of numbers and comparing them, they're wanting you to see that Progressive or whatever insurance company has the lowest rates. So they can just show you a bunch of random numbers, and if theirs is the lowest, your brain is automatically going to think, if I use them, I will save money. That's logos. They're appealing to your logic. So you can ask questions like, is this person citing research? Does this person trying to appeal to my common sense? Does this person use stats or percentages? A lot of times if you see numbers, it may be logos. Not always, but most of the time. So if we were in a courtroom and someone said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have not only the fingerprints, the lack of an alibi, a clear motive, and an express desire to commit the crime, we also have a video of the suspect breaking in. That is all logos, right? They're trying to appeal to your logic. This person is definitely guilty. You know how your mom and dad will sometimes say, do you need to jump off a bridge to know that something's a bad idea? That's logos. They're trying to appeal to your common sense, even though we know that argument doesn't always work. If your friends jumped off the bridge, would you jump too? And you're mad, so you just say, yes. And then the last type of rhetorical appeal is ethos. Ethos is the one that I feel like my students struggle with the most. So when you think of ethos, it is an appeal to your ethics. And I think the issue is a lot of people don't know what ethics means. So ethics could be like another way to think of morals. It has to do with your credibility, your trustworthiness. Do I believe you? Are you a good person? So like your character, and also your authority. So like, are you an expert at something? So really ethos has a lot to do with kind of you as a person. Or if we're talking about a business, like the business as a whole. So when you think of ethos, you can think of a little image of a person, like a little stick man. And that will help you to remember what it represents. So for example, we see a lot of celebrities being used in advertising. For instance, if I saw an old commercial where they were advertising shampoo and they used Marilyn Monroe as their spokesperson, they're actually using ethos because they want you to think Marilyn Monroe has beautiful hair and she uses this shampoo. So if I want to have beautiful hair, I should use this shampoo. You know how when you sometimes see commercials for toothpaste, you will always see a person in a white lab coat? They're trying to represent the idea that this actor is a dentist. Just having that actor wear a white lab coat in a commercial is a way they're appealing to your ethos, because you see that white lab coat and you think that person is a doctor or a dentist or a scientist, and we trust those people. We trust those people to tell us the correct information about our bodies. My ethos comes from me having a degree in being able to teach English. You may have ethos in something you're an expert at. So some questions you can ask are, do I trust this person? Does this person know their stuff? Do they have a degree? Do they have experience? And then also, do I believe this person? If you're a student in my class and you've lied to me multiple times, you don't have good ethos with me, because now I don't trust you and I don't believe you, because based on my previous experience with your ethos, we don't have a good relationship. Another example could be if you've known someone for a long time. So like if someone says, I've taught you in Sunday school for years and I've babysat your children, then you would trust them because you know them really well and you know that they're trustworthy. Your bonus rhetorical appeal for the day is kairos, and kairos has to do with time. So you can think of a clock when you think of kairos. We see this in commercials where they say things like, if you call in the next 15 minutes, or hurry, you're running out of time. It's a lot of times in the ads they're yelling. And that is kairos. So now you have a basic understanding of the 3 different types of rhetorical appeals. I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope that you will soon be able to notice these being used in real life, whether you're using them in arguments with your friends or your parents, whether you are seeing them on TV in commercials and advertisements, or if you're just hearing them out in the world when we hear people make speeches like in politics and on TV. I'll see you again soon. Bye.